Hey there, I'm Marvin, and welcome to Duchy. In this video, I will be providing a narrated playthrough of Duchy played with the Order faction. Now, the Order faction is one that you unlock in the progress tree about 3/4 of the way up right here. So you'll have to have plenty of crowns to advance yourself way up the progress tree to unlock this faction. The Order is, I think, one of the more difficult factions to learn and play. It relies heavily on a new mechanic, Faith, not only to gather resources, but also, in some cases, to recruit troops as well. And playing the Order introduces a whole new set of mechanics around something called expeditions, by virtue of this Holy Crusade card, that allows you to accomplish a whole bunch of different things in between your rounds of Tetris. And finally, it also features a starting card called the Cracked Chevalier, which can be quite powerful to use early on, but is also very challenging to use well. So it is, I would say, a very RNG heavy faction. Depending on what cards you end up drafting during your run, you either, get a decently strong deck to push through 3 acts, or if you get the right ones, you get a completely overpowered deck to the point that it's almost too easy to get through rounds. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the progress tree and which cards that I've enabled for this run. So let's see, we're going to move up here, and the first thing that we're going to see are kind of just our usual exploration technology cards. So Lucky Finds has a 20% chance to give you double resources when you explore a terrain square. This is at level 1. As well as Cartographers, which will explore incomplete rows at the end of the round. At level 1, it will do it for every row with only 1 missing square, but at level 3, this extends to any row that has up to 3 missing squares. Pushing further up, the first one that we should definitely focus on is this card called Planification. So at level 1, Planification will move the first building you've selected for the round to the beginning of the deck, or I like to say the beginning of the queue. So this guarantees that the first building you have in your selection is the first card that you play during the round. And that is extremely important when playing as the Order, because the Cracked Chevalier has very stringent recruitment requirements that I will get into later, and having this card just greatly reduces the level of RNG involved in being able to max out its recruitment. I also included in here No Mercy, just kind of as a nice to have. Having No Mercy will give you 1 to 300 gold at the end of a combat round if you do not have an enemy building in reserve. If we're able to comfortably win our rounds, I'm going to trigger that effect and get ourselves a little bit of gold, which can be helpful because the Order is one faction where a lot of the great cards do require a lot of gold for upgrades. As always, we're going to enable Erudition. This is one of my favorite technology cards. It provides a 4th card to select from during drafts. I try to get this card as early as possible because getting that 4th selection greatly improves your odds that you're able to draft the cards you need to succeed in your run. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, and finally now as we're entering the Faith section of the progress tree, here are some of the more unique cards that I like to enable specific to the Order. The first one here is Blessing, where at the end of the round we're going to replenish 1 defense for each Faith that we accumulate. And this is just a nice card to have to help top off our defense if we do take some hits early on, and towards the end of the playthrough, if we're able to really spike up our Faith, it will just make sure that we can keep it at max if we've come across any really unfortunate rounds. Fanaticism. At the end of the round, this card will convert a random enemy group if it has a garrison less than a certain threshold. And at level 1, that threshold is your Faith plus 10. At level 3, this is your faith plus 30. I'd say this is a really great card to have when playing the order on lower difficulties. It is not unreasonable to be able to actually hit that threshold when playing as the order. Later on, I would say though, on higher difficulties, the garrison sizes get so big that you really need a lot of faith in order for this card to work. And if you have that much faith, there are better ways to take advantage of it that will let you be very overpowered in your military might. Gosh, excuse me. We also have Tithe. I mentioned earlier that many of the order cards are gold heavy, so this is going to help us out. My understanding is I think you get gold equal to them, or 5 gold for every faith. So basically take your end of round faith and multiply it by 5. Though you might also interpret this definition as every event you gain faith. I don't think it's that. I think it's the actual faith number. I unfortunately never paid too close attention to the exact gains that I got from this card, so maybe we'll get it this round and we'll figure it out once and for all. The Commandery. This is the one of 2, I'd say, central cards critical to maxing out your potential as the order. This card will draft. It starts with 1 faith, and then at the end of the round, will recruit 3 times recruit troops. Excuse me. Equal to 3 times your faith. That's at level 1. At level 3, this goes all the way up to 5 times. And so if you're able to really increase your faith quite a bit, this card is going to recruit quite a few number of troops. And in fact, it's going to be higher than what it shows here, thanks to another card that I'm going to showcase just shortly. But this is going to be our workhorse, I would say, kind of Act 2 and Act 3, if we're able to get just one other card to go with it, or maybe 2. Sacred Ground is a really interesting card. So it begins with a faith of 2, which actually is quite big. And at the end of the round, it's going to remove troops from any other building, military building within range equal to your faith. And so if you're able to get your faith quite high, you can remove quite a few troops with this building. The only challenge is that you have to make sure you place it in range of enemy buildings and not in range of your own friendly buildings, because you definitely don't want to be removing your own units when playing this game. Alrighty. Thieves Hideout is going to be a card that we always enable because it's one of my favorite military cards. Recruits 10 troops. At level 1, recruits 10 troops for any building within a range of 2 squares. But when you do it, you lose 4 food, wood, and gold. And even though the lost resources is kind of a bummer, it's ridiculous the number of buildings you can place within the range of a Thieves Hideout. So if we get unlucky and we don't end up getting the cards we need to kind of truly build an overpowered order deck, then this is the one that we're going to rely on to get us through the playthrough. And then finally, Blacksmith is also another card that I enable. This is, I think, generally speaking, the most overpowered card in the entire game. At level 1, it's going to copy the resources or troops gained by 1 random adjacent building. So typically, you can place this right next to your strongest military building and double the number of troops you recruit from it. If you're able to even upgrade this to level 2 or 3, it will do the same thing for multiple adjacent buildings, and it's just ridiculous, the kind of shenanigans you can pull off with this card. So typically when you see it, you pretty much almost always draft it. For the order, that is going to be true with maybe the exception of the Cathedral. This is going to be the most critical card that we're looking for. What it does, it provides 1 to 5 faith depending on its level, and then it's going to double the faith of any religious building placed adjacent to it. And this is the card that we will rely on to really make our faith skyrocket as the order. Getting this card is the difference between putting together a mediocre deck and an overpowered deck. So this is the one that we're looking for, the real key. And that's it for the progress tree. So we're going to be completing this playthrough on hard difficulty, which means that we're going to have a few things against us. And typically I feel like normal is a bit of a cakewalk, so I play on hard just to keep myself a little more accountable. On this difficulty, enemy garrisons are a little bit higher. Replenishing your defense costs a bit more. recruiting mercenaries costs a bit more, but you also don't see some of the things you see on Extreme or Nightmare that make this game really, really hard to play. So it's like a nice little compromise. When we play as the Order, we start with 4 different cards. There's that Crack de Chevalier. This is the one that we're going to rely on initially to get through hostile rounds. You gain 1 ranged troop for each square in the smallest connected area. And that is really hard to describe. When we get into the run, I'll just showcase what that looks like. But it is what makes playing this part of what makes this faction so hard to play. So yeah, the Holy Crusade is just a card that enables our special expeditions in between rounds. I'll showcase that during the playthrough in more detail and what that can do. As the Order, we automatically start with a church. This is a building that you can also just draft during the run, a normal run for any faction. And at level 2, it starts with 3 faith. So this will help us accumulate some faith right from the get-go when we do our playthrough. And then finally, the Crusader Outpost. This starts with a garrison of 10, but it will also, at level 2, gain 30 Crusaders. That's this special Order resource. You gain 30 Crusaders for each different adjacent terrain type. So you can potentially place the Crusader Outpost adjacent to 3 different terrain types, gaining a total of 90 Crusaders. 90 Crusaders is a decent amount that we can use. We start off with 200 in this run, but and so this card is helpful in the early game. Later on, we're going to be looking for a different card though to really kind of increase the amount of Crusaders that we get, and that kind of also depends on us being able to increase our faith as well. Our starting resources is going to be 200 Crusaders as well as 70 defense. With that in mind, let's go ahead and kick off the run. As always, if you are able to unlock the Fortune Teller in the progress tree, this is always the first building that you come across. It allows you to thin out the cards that you might come across in your draft, which is great. You always want to remove as many cards as you can when they're cards you don't want. This one, wow, it has 10 cards, but these are all cards that we want. So we're definitely not picking this. We're not picking that one. Seasider, this is going to remove 8. We don't actually care for mountains, so that's perfect. We're going to remove that. And then let's, before we choose our next option, we're going to scroll up and just see where we can go forward from here. So past our first round, we have a guild and a university where we can draft a building card and a technology card respectively. 2 hostile, 1 peaceful rounds. A depot, a trading fair, 1 more round, 1 more depot, 1 more round, and then another trading fair or village. So with that in mind, a lot of the cards we want initially, I think mostly are building cards. So I'm going to kind of scurry here to the left, although, yes, no, we're definitely going to go left. And then we're going to hit this guild. Now, in the classic mode of Drop Duchy, your first round is always going to be peaceful, so we don't have to worry about the enemy deck at this point. We're just going to focus on resource collection. Now we have an equal number of plains and forests, and that's something you always want to keep in mind. What is the terrain that has the most number of pieces, because that's what we're going to stick next to our Crack de Chevalier. And interestingly, we got that card very early in our run. That is actually really fantastic, because that will let us make sure that we can really put that in the most ideal spot possible. So let's get that going. I'm going to place that here. We're going to place this here. See, since I got it so early, I can tuck away in that corner and then place this forest on top. And so now the goal is to basically create the biggest chain of forest squares that we can, since right now this Crack de Chevalier is connected to just one single forest network. What you wouldn't want to do when playing this card is to say stick a plain piece right on top of it, because then it's connected to both a forest and a plain network, and it's going to recruit troops based on whichever the two are smaller. But right now it's only got one choice. It's got this one forest, so that's what we're going to focus on. Alrighty. We also have this Crusader outpost in play. And so what we're going to do is place that in a position where it's adjacent to 2 different terrain types, because I only have 2 for this round. And that way we get 60 Crusaders. Alrighty. Got our church. Just gets us some faith. Nothing really that exciting there. These pieces are not the shape I want it to be. Let's see, this one's a little bit better. That's also... Or, wait, what? Is it this one? Oh, interesting. They both change to the same shape. So, which one is the worst of the 2? I am going to go like this. Like this. Like this. And then we're going to go like this. Boom. And because we were to max out that force network, we got the maximum number 28 troops available for that round. Alrighty. Faith is a special resource that you can obtain, and for every faith that you irrespective, I guess, of the order, the special things you do with faith in the order faction, regardless of what faction you play, every faith you have increases your resource gain by 5%. So on the top panel here, this is the number of resources that we collected. With our 3 faith, we were able to get just a little bit more, and it showcases that in this panel. Also, when playing as the order, leftover troops are converted into Crusaders rather than as gold, which is what normal factions do. Oh, look at that, Commandery. We're going to grab this. Buy the sword also would have been great. You know what? I realized. I apologize. I forgot to do something. So we have some Crusaders. We need to... When you click on this button here, Expeditions, you get 3 options of how to spend your Crusaders. And the first one here lets you plunder a village, and that gives you a random amount of resources. You see the ranges here. And that is part of why we need to upgrade this Holy Crusade card, because this Holy Crusade card, when upgraded, increases the amount of resources you get from plundering. The faith we gain from that round accumulates across rounds, and so as we're able to accumulate faith, we will be able to upgrade this Holy Crusade card and gain more resources from our pillaging, or excuse me, plundering. You can also build a church. This increases the amount of faith you start with each round. I actually forgot to do that before the previous peaceful round. I should have done that, so I'm going to click that twice just to get that going. And then you can also send troops to establish an outpost, and that's going to increase your maximum defense. So we start off with 70, but we could spend Crusaders to make that even higher. Alright, let's see what we can do. Gotta say, this isn't the most fantastic set of options. So we might just pick one that at least gets us another kind of maybe just a different kind of military building to supplement our selves. And this one I think is, is it really that's the best? Alright, well, we're going to try this ranger-based one. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so do we want... Again, when we look at regions, we should take into account what resource we want across here on our depots. The card that right now we're most wanting to upgrade is this Carte de Chevalier, and we're not even anywhere close to be able to get that, but we can at least pick one of these depots to help supplement it. So with that in mind, I usually pick the region with whichever has the highest percentage for one terrain. So this is 50 and 50, but this is 70 and 30. And that helps our Carte de Chevalier a little bit more, so we're going to go left. But otherwise, you usually want to just try to focus on picking maybe the path that gets you the most, your best desired resource distribution, or collection, sorry. Alright, and then this is plains, so we want to stack our plains together. Let's see. Okay, good. So we can stick this here. Stick this here. And the church goes next to the horse stable. The horse stable recruits troops based on how many gaps there are between it and the next closest building. By doing that, we were able to create 0 gaps. You can also see that our Cactus Chevalier has popped up, so we're going to tuck that here on the left-hand side. Like so. And then we can... Ooh. That's interesting. I actually kind of made a small mistake there. I cut off this planes right here, so I got to find a way to reconnect it back. I should be able to do it if I just do this. And then place more piece right here. Like that. Oh, I don't know why I picked this ranger base. I should have picked the other one. Oh, I'm sorry. Ranger bases are not going to recruit any troops if there are no forests. Whoops. Oh, that's right. That unlocks... I put river pieces on the border. That is what this shipyard likes. That's my mistake. That's okay. So let's maybe do this. Do this. Oops. Oh. Oh, I also disconnected these planes. Alright, that was not the most optimal playthrough. I apologize, but we should still be able to comfortably win this. Yay! Battle 1. Alrighty. Ugh. These aren't exactly awesome cards. Alright, and then we're going to get some food. And I'm going to take an extra hit here. At the food depot, you can usually just take a certain amount of resources for free, or you can double it, but take 15 defense, or lose 15 defense. Defense is this top right-hand number. We started with 70. If you lose a battle, the leftover enemy troops go away from your defense. If your defense ever reaches 0, you lose the round. So this is risky, but it is worth it, I think, early on, so that we can exchange that food for wood and just have a lot of resources. And now we just need some gold, and we can get this Cactus Chevalier upgraded. Fortunately, we don't have gold coming up. Not all the way until there, so that's annoying. Let's change out this ranger base for the bastion instead. Alright, stronghold, mercenary camp, and strategic pavilion. And oh wait, hold on a second. No, this is a lot of forest. My bad. We're gonna stick the ranger base now. Alright, so we're gonna... These enemy buildings work off adjacency, so we just want to keep an eye out for that. That's going to go there, that's going to go there. We put this here. Like this, and like this. Alright, strategic pavilions recruit off adjacent military buildings, so we want to stick that far away from any military buildings. Bastion is a noble building, will spawn planes next to it, and recruits off planes, so we were able to create gaps, or fill in terrain on those gaps, and also get that extra 30 Crusaders for this Crusader outpost. That was nice. Where's our Cactus Chevalier? See, this is the annoying thing about randomness, is that I don't know where that is, and I have to be able to plan for it. maybe I will... Did I just... Oh, I replaced the wrong building. Oh my gosh. Sorry, folks. I was like, where does that building go? I must have taken it out by accident. My bad. Alright, well. I was so confused, like, where is it? But no, it's okay. And we will win this with 0. Yeesh. That was a big no-no. Oh, Fluvial Guard. Okay. Let's get more resources. We're gonna go over here. Oh my goodness. Why is my... I want this. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's see. In this case, I don't have as many forest pieces, so we're going to take out this ranger base and do this instead. Yeesh. Okay. Let's go. And actually, I want to... Sorry, I gotta just redo this order. Correct Chevalier always needs to come first. If we do eventually get planification. We don't have as many rivers, so I don't actually want the river to touch this building. How many forests do I have? I do have more forests, so okay. Let's see that. Ooh, that actually... Nope. We're gonna do plains instead. Beautiful. All right, let's definitely make sure that we try to keep that plains going. Oh, I couldn't get the Fluvial Guard to work though, unfortunately. Wait. Let's do it like this. This card up here. Okay, and we could put that there, and this maybe there, so I'm going to here. Oops. Like that. Awesome. And this Fluvial Guard actually sent 8 troops to the Crusader outpost because I had a connecting river to it, so that's cool. Alrighty, so we really want to increase the amount of heavy troops to fight off. Oh, if only I could get... Alright, there we go. Alright, not a bad round. Alright, erudition. And we're gonna get another trading fair. Let's see. I honestly could use a better... This would be an opportunity to get even more money. Actually, do I have enough for my... I have enough to upgrade this card. So... And upgrade this card. Here we go. We're gonna upgrade our Crusade. So I might want to just trade this Ranger base and maybe see if I can't get a better card. A farm. Okay. So actually, one thing I can showcase here, you can always quit the menu. This, you may or may not consider this cheating, but you can quit the menu and actually redo your options. If I select the same card, it's going to do the same thing. So everything's deterministic, but if you don't like your options, you can always change it. And I'm going to do that because I want to potentially get a lot more gold, because I know I need gold. So I'm going to do that. Upgrade this character Chevalier. The outpost isn't really worth upgrading. This commandery could be nice to upgrade, but we're not really we're only getting about 5 faith, which is going to be, I guess 25 is not bad. Okay, so maybe we'll upgrade that. I'm going to upgrade this commandery. And then, do we have enough gold to upgrade erudition? We might, but I'm going to hold off on it. Alright, the wall. Okay, so in this case, I am going to take off. So we have enough for another building. Let's do it. Alright, so the wall can make this very hard to play. You see that this is an Act 1 boss that starts with a huge overpowering garrison, but as you play more cards or pieces, this wall is going to move more and more up, and that number is going to go down. So basically, it encourages very, very tight gameplay. Ooh, that came up. Okay, you know what? I am going to... how can I do this? How can I do this? So, put this here, and put this here. And I can tuck away this on the side like that. And now we just need to make sure we get a river piece right up here and we'll be okay. Oh, that's considered a military building, sorry. Maybe we'll hit that then. Man, I could really use a river piece right now. Oh, that was annoying. Okay. Oh, I don't think I can avoid it though, so we're just gonna do this. Okay, now we have that river coming together. Oh, where am I gonna place this piece? Go like this. We're gonna go like this. And like this. And then we're gonna also place this piece. You squeeze it like this. And put this here. So this is our maximum river network now. We also got a few extra troops from the Fluvial Guard. And we're also going to... The wall is at its maximum height now, so 51 is the minimum number of troops that it will have as a garrison. But we're also able to keep this rally point off the screen, so we'll have a few less troops to deal with. There we go. Not bad. Not bad. So... There we go. Clean round. Just like that, that's the end of round 1. So you can see from our round 1 play that Character Chevalier, you know, definitely helps give you a nice boost, but you know what we really need is more faith, right? We're not gaining really all that much faith, and so what we're really looking out for is that Cathedral card, and maybe a few other things. So for now, in this final draft, if I was playing this purely just to win, I get the Thieves' Hideout. Without a doubt, this is going to be the card that can carry you pretty much through almost any run. But it really wouldn't showcase what the unique mechanics of the order are. And so with that in mind, I'm actually going to draft Planification just so that I can ensure we are able to get that Cactus Chevalier right off the bat and use it to get maximum number of troops. Now I need to decide what terrain I'm going to leave behind. Commanderies, I think, needed some food at the start to upgrade, but then they only need now wood and stone, so I'm going to leave the plains behind and stick with rivers. And if we really need it, we might get lucky getting a river production card that we can then use to get we can use if we get a water mill, we can get food from rivers instead, if that's really necessary. Okay, looking at our options here, we got the guild and university again. Hostile regions, that this one on the right is slightly better. Stone and gold, another university. Trading fair. Okay, so no regions with super high percentages. Let's see what this guild is going to give us. Random production card. Something on the river. Something on the river. Okay, and here, I'm going to just quit the menu just to showcase. This is a thing you can do. I mentioned in my tips video that you can always go look at the other side and see if that looks better. So we could pick that. We could pick something for our defense or get a full technology set. Let's see what this pops up, because we are playing Faith. Ooh, this is an interesting one. So we're going to do this. And we're going to go down to this left route. So buy the sword will give you faith when you recruit a certain number of troops. And this is a way that we can help just accumulate more faith each round before we finally hit that cathedral. And this pairs really well with Commandery, because Commandery will, at the end of the round, recruit a certain number of troops based on how much faith you have. And then if that triggers by the sword, if you recruit, say, 80, then that's going to give you an additional faith, which is going to recruit even more troops. So they can, there's at least a nice positive feedback loop. These two cards work in tandem really well together. So I'm actually going to upgrade it right off the cuff before we hit this match. So here we go. 6 forest and 6 water, so river. So we want to pick one of those two for a Cactus Chevalier. And it looks like the winner is going to be the river. So ooh, interesting. Another one. This card's annoying. Let's see. We're going to place this up like this. Put this here. Recruit all those troops. And then the question is, can we also somehow squeeze in something for this guy? We might just keep him in reserve just for this round. I could really use a long piece right now. Let's see this. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta kind of do random luck and see if you can get a long piece. Alrighty, so put this here, and then we can. Oh no, this bastion! I want to try to use it to get Fluvial Guard, but doing so is going to mess up our river network. So we're going to do it this. Oh, I can't squeeze in that piece. All right, maybe we put this here. Yeah, it looks ugly. I'll admit. But that's okay. Alrighty, we can do that. Do this and this. There you go. And you saw there our commandery actually received troops twice because By the Sword got procced and gave us additional faith. So, very nice effect. I'm going to do this. Oops. We end up having enemy buildings representing all three group types, so we did a little dance there to make sure we always had advantageous battles, and you can see that they're advantageous when there's a yellow border around your units as opposed to the enemy units. Overall, good round. We got 8 faith this time, and we are going to... Ooh, interesting. I'm going to do this one because more faith is better, but I need to expend a building slot to make that happen. Is that really so bad? No, we're going to do technology cards. Those are always nice because you don't have to spend building slots to make that happen, so... Okay. It's not really a production building we want here. Is there? Let me see, hold on, sorry. I guess we could still get that watermill if we needed more food. We need food for a Crack de Chevalier. We still want to use that, as well as maybe our Fluvial Guard, so, and this. So, yeah, okay. If we can get that watermill, low chances, but it's possible. That could be helpful. It's a sawmill instead. Okay, I'm going to hold on to this stone mine instead. Take some gold. Alright, we can get another religious card. I think that's what we're going to do. Alright, so with these 3 religious cards, let's see. These 2 on the left are very interesting. Devotion will create a situation where if we place a religious building adjacent to a military building, and this could be friendly or enemy, it will lose 10% of its units. Forced Conversion, on the other hand, applies at the end of the round, and for any enemy building adjacent to 2 religious buildings, it will lose 20% of its units, and those are converted into Crusaders. This actually could be super helpful if we place it next to a boss garrison, because those are quite large and we might be able to get quite a few Crusaders from that. That being said, I would say it's generally pretty hard to get 2 religious buildings adjacent to an enemy building, especially since we literally only have 2 right now, I think. Just our church and our commandery. So in that case, I might just pick Blessing because that's the easiest to trigger. It will always happen at the end of the round. We already are down a little bit of defense, so we'll just gain some back every time we gain some faith. So let's pick that. Do we have enough to upgrade our Holy Crusade card? Not quite. We need 20 for that. So we might go ahead and... I wonder if I should upgrade my Reliquary. We have a bunch of Crusaders. We can maybe try to go plundering and get some additional cards, but let's see. Let's see what we get first. We're going to go on this side. Okay, and we're going to see... We don't really have any additional buildings we want to use at the moment, so maybe we do think about making some upgrades. This one, Commandery, is probably the most important one. We're not really all that close to getting that upgraded the right way. So really, if I had to pick one, it would probably be By the Sword again, just so that we can get more, but I don't know. I think we maybe hold on to our resources, and let's see if we can't just win the fight straight out. 153. Alright, and we have basically equal distribution of terrain, so we just gotta pick one and stick our Crack de Chevalier next to all of them. So let's try to make that happen. Let's go ahead and pick this one here. Alright, this is not going to be ideal, but I want to get more Crusaders, so I'm sticking that like this. I'm really hoping to stick something here that I can use to... but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Can I get my commander in there without... Oh my gosh, where are all my river pieces? This is getting quite challenging. Okay. We can do this. And now we need to start just being very mindful of our stacking here. God, finally getting some river pieces here. That actually did not really help at all, so just gonna switch it out. Goodness gracious. These buildings are an eyesore. They will make me lose troops if I have it within range, which currently I kind of do. If I stick a building like right here. So I gotta avoid that. Alright, stick this at the top. There we go. Oh, not enough to get rid of this garrison. Unfortunate. Ooh, not the prettiest round, I have to say. Let's see what we can do. Oops. Nope. Okay. 14 versus 26. Even worse. Okay, well, not the cleanest round. So you can see that the Crack du Chevalier, which definitely helped anchor our playthrough earlier in the round, is starting to wane off in its power, and we really need some better cards. I really want that Cathedral to come in. Maybe at this point I might try a reroll just to see if we can't get it. This is about the time in the run. If you don't get it, it's just not going to help out. So Sacred Ground could be kind of cool, but again, need a Cathedral for it. There it is, finally. Goodness gracious. Alrighty, so with that in mind, let's go to the trading fair. I'm gonna just see what happens if I try to replace this out. I get a water bill, which is okay. So I will take it. Though I really would have preferred resources, so I don't know. Let me see. Oh, wait, sorry. I already selected it. Once you select it, you can't undo it, unfortunately. I completely forgot about that. So, alrighty, here we go. So with that in mind, there are still some cards that we need in order to truly make this all work out. So we'll have to see if we can get lucky in the draft. This has not been the most luckiest draft, and you know, that's the challenge of playing the Order, is that sometimes you just simply don't get the cards that you want. Do we want more faith? Let's see. We're going to upgrade our Holy Crusade. We finally have enough faith for it. And I would love to upgrade this Commandery. But I don't know if that's really just going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this instead. See what we can do there. Alright, so now we got to be even more careful and focus on being able to surround our cathedral with religious buildings. Oh man, this is rough. Okay, let's see. Let's maybe do it like this. I got 2. Alright, here we go. My goodness. Okay, so where can we place our cathedral? That is the question, right? Long piece here. Let's see if I can't squeeze this. Like that. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to put this over here, maybe. Oh, there's my church. Good. This and my commandery. Okay, great. That is great. All right, so like that. You see, now we have a faith of 15. You see, it's just so much easier. It is so much easier when you have pieces that, oh, you have this cathedral to double the faith of your other buildings. So let's see. Can I do this? And how can I get maybe all? If I do it like, oh, put the long. I'm trying to see if I can get 4 next to my Crusader. That might be a little bit too ambitious. Let's see, like this. Like this. Oh, I recruited that by accident. That's unfortunate. We're gonna like this. Nice. All right. Let's see how we can do this. We're gonna maximize our light troops here, and by taking out that the enemy river castle, that definitely helped out too. There we go. 17 faith in the round, plus how many? 68 troops for my commandery, which was fantastic. So getting that cathedral makes such a big difference. At this point, if we can even grab another if we can maybe grab another church or a commandery, that would be fantastic. I think I might go for this masonry card because I don't really have a lot of stone. Alright, here we go. Into the boss round. Do we want to open up another slot for another building or make some upgrades? Let's take a look. We don't really have, we just have a mill for the most part to use to get some more wood, which we honestly don't need a lot of. So I think it's more about upgrading our existing buildings. Let's take a look at our expedition. So right now we can get 30 stone, up to 30 stone for each expedition, and I need 200 to get this final upgrade on the commandery, as well as a bunch of resources for this Crack de Chevalier, which will honestly not be as good on this round because of the evenness of this distribution here. So let's go for it. So 200. It took us I think that was 7 times. That's not so bad. All right, final upgrade that. Can even upgrade now this Fluvial Guard if we wanted to be able to string together some more troops. And we have 6 river, which is not too bad, I think. So that might actually be worthwhile. Unless I want to... Honestly, that stone mine might have been better too. Oh, it's so hard. It is so hard. You know what? I'm going to 204. I'm going to quit the menu. Sorry. I'm going to redo that. I'm going to try that a little bit differently. We're going to open up this final slot instead and throw in the stone mine and see if that can't get us our stone that we need. We still have some upgrade possibilities though. Yeah, I can still do this fluvial though. And even this bastion. Oh, no, not the bastion anymore. Okay. So let's 200 and 200. Can I get the holy? No, I can't. Nope, nope. I don't think that's enough for the bastion. Alright, that's okay. Alright, this is the Act 2 boss that has war chariots. It's kind of a weird thing where it will spawn these 3 single square war chariots that when you place it next to a friendly building, you will lose troops from it. Or if you place it next to a terrain tile, it's going to change it to wasteland. Which is really bad, especially for river, because you could potentially disrupt your river networks. So I got to be really careful about how I play this, because I want to make sure I don't make these war chariots screw up my Crack de Chevalier. You see, they have that just that perfect size too. Mess that up, so I'm gonna see if I can't build around it. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. You see, so it screwed up this forest right here. We're gonna do this. That's the farthest I can go. Oh. It is really hard to build up this Crack de Chevalier as a result. Okay, so instead we're going to think about how we're going to build up let's see. You know what? Maybe we just stick this over here. It's not the best use of our Crack de Chevalier, but honestly, at this point, I just don't know if we're going to get anything better. So, okay, now that's fully surrounded, so at least it's protected. Oh, see, look at that. Look at that. Look at these war chariots. They're so annoying. Okay, I think I got to place it like this. Oh, that screws up the crack. Well, this is going to screw up the cathedral. Oh, how unfortunate. Nope, that will not screw up the cathedral. Oh, nope. There we go. Okay. Oh, I do not like those at all. Alrighty, well. That was a bit rough. Let's see what we get out of this. Ooh, not even enough troops. That is a loss. Okay, well, maybe in that case we change our strategy. Unfortunate. Okay. Alright, let's see. So we were doing upgrade this. Upgrade this. Yeah, guys, so this is a little bit of a rougher run. The order really kind of depends on getting the right cards early on, otherwise it can get very challenging. We might, honestly, I don't even know if I want a mercenary because they, 20 garrison is like nothing. So let's see what we can do with this instead. Is there another great, I guess I can upgrade, no, I'm not going to get enough gold for that. So this is basically the best I can do. Let's go. And in this case, having the crack at the beginning isn't as helpful because I have these war chariots that can come and just basically screw everything up. So basically, I'm just trying to see if I can't... Ooh. Okay, well, so what do we have left? We have 4 of each terrain type left, and maybe we can build a notebook out of it. Let's see. I'm going to try to build one right here. Why is this not... Oh, this in troops, okay. Hold on, sorry. Let's see. Oh. Oh my gosh. This is looking so ugly. Oh no, wait. Oh, I stuck the war chariot on top. Ah, the crack. This is why playing with the crack is so annoying. Okay, sorry. Ah, dang. I see, when you screw that up, you only get 2. Ironically, I did much better with my commandery, though. But alas, I don't know. It is barely enough. Let's do it. Honestly. Ooh. Ouch. Literally 1. Alrighty, we'll get another one of these cards. Yeah, that was painful, guys. That was really painful. Maybe I will leave the mountain. That was rough. Okay. We're in Act 3 now. Let's take a look at our pathing here. So... at this point, what we really need is a graveyard. That will help us quite a bit. Unfortunately, we don't have that card. And what we want to upgrade, we need stone and we need gold to make that upgrade. For our other commandery, I just upgraded that Holy Crusade card. So let's see if... So the gold we can get here. Okay, we'll go up the guild again, play the river one, play this one. Okay, let's see. We can pop by the university just very briefly. I don't think this is where I want to go, but again, we can show you how this works. So you see, more religious cards that we can use. And at this point, if we're getting 17 faith per turn, is that enough to really have something like fanaticism kick in? Honestly, no. So... that's why I think the building one is guild is going to be better if we can get the right building cards. So, although these categories are just terrible, I don't really want any of these. So actually, in that case, sorry, we are going to go here, And we're going to select maybe force conversion. How about that? Maybe we can get some additional... If we can get 2 of them together, we can get some additional Crusaders out of it. Take some of that stone. So now our commandery just needs some gold, and then we'll be able to... And we didn't get tithe, I don't think. So that's okay. Let's go. Okay, so in that case, let's remove this bastion. Put in our other commandery. And we really need to think hard about how we get all these religious buildings next to each other. So, let's go. We want a lot of forest. Let's not... That didn't look too great, so I'm going to take this instead. Put this in reserve. Ugh. Oops, what am I doing? Can't do that. Here. Okay, now we can start seeing our is this considered a military building? It is. Unfortunate. Okay, let's start building out our network that we're going to use to create our religious set. So, having these 2 buildings here was not the best decision. So, I think I'm just going to sit this in here. Unfortunate. Oh, there's my cathedral. That. I can't place both of these without triggering this. It's so annoying, guys. That's fine. We'll just do that then. Sorry. We're gonna try to continue building out this forest network. This. Oh my gosh. That was not the prettiest. Alright, now you can see the effect of by the sword kicking in, all those troops creating additional faith that then kicks back. Makes this a lot easier. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, let's go. Ooh. And what is additionally nice is all those troops left over also gives us a lot of crusaders, which we can use to plunder and get ourselves even more resources. So blacksmith, always take that. I really wish they would, isn't there ought to be a category where I can get my religious buildings. It's unfortunate. I don't know why it's never popping up here. So let's just pick this. None of these matter. Let's take that. And then we're going to pick this side. And we need to make room for our blacksmith. So probably don't really need Fluvial Guard at this point, but we will keep it. And I'm going to upgrade that blacksmith to level 2. Alright, this is just going to get even more crazy with the placements. So we can even upgrade our crack, which is pretty cool. But the crack is just getting so hard to deal with at this point. I'm going to save my resources, so. Alright, let's go. Okay, what do we have? A ton of rivers, so. Let's take this down here. Okay, how do we... Let me think. How do I do this? I want to put this here. Put this here. I'll probably put this up here. This over here. Oh, the training camp can. Silly training camps. Always such a pain in the butt. Oh, that doesn't line up. Fine. I realize this is very, very ugly looking. I apologize. But it will make sense eventually. It will make sense eventually. Is that what I really want? Okay, here's that church building. I can put that here. Oh, this is looking so ugly. Looking so ugly, guys. Here's our commander. Okay. Wow, I literally cannot. Place both of these cards. Let me see. Does that change shape? That does change the shape. Okay. Wow, guys, I'm sorry. This is the ugliest looking placement I have ever created. There we go. So, what I did here was I made sure that all religious buildings are next to the cathedral, so I maximized my faith, and I made the blacksmith, level 2 blacksmith, go next to the 2 commanderies, so that's going to take double the amount of troops I get from those, so I apologize. It was ugly. So ugly, but it actually is going to make this a lot better, I promise. Alright, what can I do? I can at least get some more resources there. I'm going to dump this off to the side. Get some of this over here. I can at least explore this row. And I can explore this row too. No, I cannot. Here we go. And look at that. By the faith. By the sword. Increasing that faith. And with that, I am topping 30 faith. So, again, that cathedral makes such a big difference. Add in by the sword and some commanderies, and you just go way overboard on how many troops you can recruit. So, it's good stuff. Very good stuff. Okay, so with that, though, let's see. We're going to take this out, and then we got to switch over to heavies, which unfortunately we cannot do, so let's just do that. Alright, almost 600 leftover troops. Very nice. You know what? Last round, I bet we even forgot to upgrade our Holy Crusader card. What the heck? Let's add another one. You see, and now you're in this weird position where you're just suddenly extremely overpowered in what you can create. That's just what you get when you cross that threshold with the cathedral. So we're going to finally, I think we're going to remove this Crusader outpost because we don't really need it anymore. We're going to throw this other commandery. With the gazillion Crusaders we have, we're going to maybe do some expeditions. So let's do that. I don't know what I need to upgrade these. What do I need? Where's commandery? Where's my other one? Oh, is it for just further down? Here it is. 200 stone. Just one more. There we go. So we can upgrade this. And then if you really want to just get fancy, then you can also maybe upgrade the cathedral just to get even more faith per round. That might be what I will go for, because again, I have such a ridiculous number of Crusaders. We can even get a level 3 blacksmith. Look at all that. Look at how many things you can get. Maybe level 3 blacksmith that can recruit all 3. Let's do it. Okay, we'll stop there. Alarm towers and thieves hideout. Okay, got it. And a lot of forest. Alright, here we go. I'm going to trigger one alarm tower here, unfortunately, but it's okay. It just happens. Oh, whoops. I completely forgot about my force network. So we're going to do this instead. And then, how do I get to put that in reserve? Okay. It's like, could I actually fit that in there? I don't know that I could have. Okay, that's also not what I wanted. So I'm gonna put this over. If I put this here and put the, nope, that's gotta go there. So like that can work. Oh wait, dang it! All right, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. All right, we screwed up. I screwed up the. I screwed up how to do how to make this all linked together. So now I can't really get my cathedral in there as well. Unfortunate. Okay. Do I want to try to do? Yeah, at this point we just get so many more troops from. Definitely want to do that first. And I actually want the blacksmith here. So I'm going to stick this over here, actually. Even though that is also not ideal. Well, sometimes if you just don't pay attention, you can get some pretty ugly results. I am sorry for that. Alright, there we go. Ugly, ugly, ugly placement. But also a ton of troops. Here we go. Here we go. So it's really weird, right? When I was initially playing this run, I was super focused on getting as many troops hired for this Crack du Chevalier. But now that we have the cathedral with all these religious buildings, maxing our faith, it just like doesn't matter. We can make that as ugly as we want, and even at this point, it's almost just, it is pointless to even deal with the types of troops because we're just gonna have so many. Alrighty. Very nice. And with that, maybe we will take this card. We can upgrade some of those technology cards. I mean, at this point, I don't even know what we're going to upgrade. Do we want... Let's see, do we want a... Try to upgrade... Do we have anything that's level 2 that we want to push up? It's possible. So, let's see, By the Sword is level 2, so it's, okay, let's go this side. The port lets you upgrade, you either gain 35 defense back, you can upgrade a level 1 card for free, or you can pay 150 gold to upgrade a level 2 card. So we're going to do that, and we got Fluvial Guard to upgrade. So we're going to go into the dungeon. And at this point, what do we have? The Cathedral needs to be level 3, but that is in the crack. So, if that is the case, let's do this. Where's my Cathedral? My crack. So it needs a bit of gold. Okay. By the Sword I wanted to upgrade. So I need 160 gold for that. And a bunch of gold for Reliquary. So I should have upgraded. That's fine. Let's just upgrade this. Just for kicks. Just need gold. Ton of gold. By the Sword. Get on faith. Force conversion. Yeah, why not? You know what? Let's just... We have so much of these. And I got my Holy Crusade card up to level 8. Actually, if you got the Wonder earlier with better religious cards, you can get this up to level 10. That is not the max level, but I didn't have the best of luck here, so... Okay, I think that's maxing out basically every religious-related card. Blessing I'm not going to bother because we're definitely going to get that maxed out. So you can even do some other things with the rest of the troops. I'm going to build a church and increase our defense. Okay, here we go. The dungeon creates this unique scenario where you will want to place pieces not in these red squares, because doing so will increase its garrison, and that red square pattern will change every single round. So you just got to know what those patterns are. I don't actually have them memorized, but it's okay. It's not. See, just like that. Well, you know what? I honestly don't even care. At this point, now that we've kind of hit that threshold with we just got to worry more about how do we place all of our other buildings. So let me see, we're going to do it like this, and like this. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention, you also have to explore tiles. If you don't explore rows and get resources by a certain period, you recruit these mercenaries, and that also makes things annoying. So okay, so that's going to be I actually kind of want this down here though, so maybe I will try to place some other pieces first. Ah, that's fine. Okay, we'll just place this here. Place this here. There we go. Okay, so I still have a few religious buildings I want to place, so I'm going to slot this in. So slightly better. Alright, here's the other commandery, so now this blacksmith is going to get 2, just like that. I think we're out of... Yeah, okay. We're out of buildings, so this is going to go here. Alrighty. And now we can actually just even end it. There's really no point in continuing this on. I'm just going to... Here we go. Wow, it just builds up so much. Getting that blacksmith was just even more hilarious, because then you can really just... I should have figured out a way to stack 3 commanderies next to it and the cathedral, but I don't know, it's alright. What are we at? 75 faith? I think my best was 95 faith. I'm not going to quite get that in this run, but that's okay. This is still super ridiculous. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. And that's it. Ooh. 4,566 Crusaders. Okay. Why is that, by the way? I had... How many leftovers troops did I have? 1830, which resulted in 915 Crusaders, but because I had 79 faith, that faith bonus just ballooned the amount of resources that I got. So that is why the Order is the most RNG dependent faction, I think, to play. I hope you enjoyed this run, by the way. We finish up here the Order faction. As you can tell, you know, it started off strong because, yeah, this character Chevalier can recruit quite a few troops if you are really, really careful with your terrain placement, especially once you get planification. If you can slot it in the corner and just get a good distribution of terrain. You know, sometimes you might not be lucky, you might get like 40-40-20, but if you can get something like 70-30, that's fantastic. You can recruit a lot of troops. So this card can really help carry you in the early game, but ultimately what you really need is this cathedral, right? Without the cathedral, it's really hard to scale your faith in the traditional sense as the Order using religious buildings. I think, you know, as the Duchy, you can kind of do some funky shenanigans with food and fields instead, but this way in this method you really need religious buildings. And once you're able to get the cathedral, your starting church, preferably I think another second church would have been better, and then 1 commandery, 2 is probably more preferable. You're all set. As you saw, there was that kind of point in the run where suddenly I was just getting a whole ton of faith at the end of my runs, getting a lot of Crusaders that then I used to plunder villages to get resources that upgraded my commandery, and it was just this positive feedback loop, right, that did not end and resulted in a huge number of troops. So definitely, you know, if you watch my runs with the Duchy or the Tribe, the Order definitely has a much higher ceiling than those other ones in terms of its military potential, but you really have to get lucky and get the cathedral. And in this particular case, I had to use, what did I use, like 4 rerolls, I think, to finally get out that cathedral because I was just tired of waiting for it. And you know, if I waited naturally and I got into, say, in Act 3, I, you know, maybe could have won the playthrough, but I definitely would not have scaled my buildings nearly as quickly. I say, based on my experience playing as the Order, you definitely want the cathedral probably by going into the boss for Act 2. You definitely want to have it by then, because it gives you a whole act to really build up that momentum for the final boss. Anyhow, my name is Marvin. Me and my family, we help run Buddy Up Gaming, where we encourage families to game together. Video games are a fantastic pastime to enjoy with each other, and that isn't just including multiplayer games. That also includes single player games like Drop Duchy. My son absolutely loves Drop Duchy. Every time I play it, he's always asking me questions about my tactics and strategies, and he's not bad himself, so he is more than happy to critique my moves whenever he feels like I do something that isn't quite optimal. So this is a game that I've really enjoyed playing with my family. I hope you consider picking it up. It's an extremely cheap buy, and as you can see from this playthrough and my other faction playthroughs, there's just so much variety in the playstyle that you can utilize, and the strategy that you have to execute, and just each round of Tetris regardless is always just really fun to go through. So anyhow, that is my playthrough of the Order faction on hard difficulty. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Take care out there. Have a good one. Victory! Nice.